All right, I think we're live. Been a while since I streamed on this channel, so this should be interesting. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Just catching up on the chat here. There's going to be about a 15-second delay or so between what I'm doing and what you guys are seeing, so a bit of a delay in the chat too. What's going on, everybody? All right, so let's talk about the situation here. If you've been following this series at all, you know that we took Richmond pretty early on in the war, and we've been just kind of hanging on ever since. But you know, the Confederates actually have more soldiers in the field than we do, by about 9,000 right now. So I'm working on getting that number up. There's just too many places we've got to cover because he keeps bouncing back and forth between one and the other. Chip, yes, I did see that. Awesome. I'm going to play some more enlisted pretty soon. So national morale's great. Once the Confederate national morale drops below 25, the war comes to an end. But we're not going to get there by winning battles in the field. We're going to have to take cities. So my goal here right now, obviously there's this Western Army that I'm concerned about. I've got to move the Army of the West. I've got to deal with the Florida State Militia, then come over here and hunt down this Western Army with about 6,000 men. I've got to make a big move with Grant's 100,000 man strong Army of Tennessee. So I'm pushing the 12th Corps, or the 17th Corps over here toward Hampton's division to drive him out. We're going to bring the 1st Corps down as soon as their readiness moves up. I've got to bring McClellan down from the army with the Army of the Kanawha, but we've got to get some supply depots first because Eastern Kentucky is just not a great place for supplies. So we're going to have to supply him, move him down over here into like the Scott and Russell County, Virginia area over here, build some more supply depots, and kind of work our way down toward Knoxville, supplying ourselves along the way. I might actually come over to here to do that and then take the road down. A lot of armies, and I don't know which way they're going, these Confederate armies, if they're coming back west to help against Grant or if they're moving east to load up on McDowell's Army of the Potomac. There's a siege going on here with the 5th Corps, and I want to send the newly formed 12th Corps over to help, but the problem is they're not in a readiness state to be able to do that, so I've transferred one of their divisions to the 5th Corps. So that's what's going on. What do I prefer, Ajod, Civil War II, or Grand Tactician? Definitely Grand Tactician. Zach, nice job. Won a battle outnumbered by 10,000 earlier. Confederates could... No, I don't think the Confederates were ever going to win the Civil War. Not without help from foreign powers, and I don't think that was going to happen. I'm also working on diplomacy too for a policy, and we're waiting on some new recruits. So let's kind of get all that going. Right now we're building up supplies. It's March, so it's almost kind of the spring campaign season. I don't know why in the world this one supply depot belongs to the Confederacy, but Walker's got an army coming down. Now he does, that's just a headquarters. So the Army of the West has got to deal with this Florida State Militia, but then we've got to go over and deal with this Western Army. Problem is we haven't seen him for a week. That was on March 5th he was there. I don't know where he is now. Let's upgrade this supply depot. Do I prefer to recruit larger units or smaller ones and let them build up? I don't think they can build up if you recruit them at a certain level. Don't they just kind of max out at that level? You know, I prefer to do them large. Hey, Brian, how's it going? I'm playing as the North. So it looks like the 17th Corps was able to move up here, up the Cumberland River without much of a opposition. Now we're going to move down across the Cumberland River, see if we can grab this Confederate supply depot, grab the town of Charlotte. I don't know why the First Corps is not dealing with Walker's army. I think they probably will soon. We still have this siege going on over here, and it's not going particularly well at the moment. So I've got to get help over there for them. I'm going to send the Second Corps down. Wadsworth's Second Corps is in pretty good shape. I'm going to move the Army of the Potomac headquarters a little bit. So Walker was withdrawing. Let's see where that's happening. Walker's army's right there. He plays as the North because he wants to win. I don't know how long the stream will be. I guess it'll kind of depend on how the battles happen and how long they are. The small units do grow. Okay. I've never tried recruiting the smaller ones. I don't know much about the Battle of Glorieta Pass. It is a battle that you can play on this game. It's one of the historic battles that are available to be played, which is kind of cool. We do have one unit still out of supply, and that's the 18th Corps. Oh, I know why. Because we haven't built these supply depots yet. We're still working on those. 7 days until those are done. So everything's kind of at a standstill right now because of the supply issues. I'm going to upgrade this supply depot. A fully upgraded to level 3 supply depot can support 38,000 men. So typically one of my corps is how that's going to work out. All right, the Florida State Militia is suffering attrition. I don't know why we can't seem to hit him. He seems to be avoiding combat. Here comes the Confederate Army. They're going to hit the Army of the Ohio, which is who we fought with the last time. Hooker's got 49,000 men. The Army of Texas. Okay, so actually we're going to hit a battle over here first. We haven't seen the Army of the Tennessee in combat for quite a while, but this is going to be a good opportunity. 81,000 men once everybody's there, but we're starting with just the First Corps, which was the one we transferred from east. And then the 17th Corps will get there in 36 hours. So it seems like it may make sense for us to hold off until we get our whole force, because then we'll outnumber them almost 3-1. This will be an opportunity to get a nice victory for Grant. We haven't had one for a while. Ibrahim, I am blockading. I have him blockaded several places. Remind me after the battle, and I'll show you where the blockades are. I have not wargamed with miniatures in a long, long time. I used to be into that, and I've got a lot of them. Jeff, the thread on Patreon is the thread I told you about that is unavailable even to a major general. I'll have to take a look at that. I don't know what's going on. I have a major general thread that a bunch of people requested their divisions on, because I've gotten a bunch of division requests. So I'll have to take a look and see why yours isn't showing up. But we'll definitely take care of that. Okay. So like I said, it kind of behooves us to hold tight because we've got a lot of reinforcements on the way. Let's take a look at that situation. You can see 39 hours till the 17th Corps arrives. 19 hours the 18th Corps will be here. And that'll triple the number of men we have. Right now we're actually outnumbered, although I don't think he really has 39,000 men. I think that's an overestimate. And once we... Jeff, thank you. Please do that. Once we make contact with him, I think we'll probably find that the numbers aren't that high. But it's going to make sense for us to sit back, defend our position where we are, and wait for those reinforcements. I'm going to cover the crossings as best I can. Where is he? He's up here. What battlefield is this? I don't think I've been on this one before. This is another new one for me. Very cool. So we'll sit tight right here. I think we'll send the cav out just to get a sense of what's going on. I think I'll put the artillery right in here along this road on this clearing. And let's go ahead and hit play. All right, first things first, we want to give our cavalry evade orders and then send them out scouting. With the evade order, if they make contact, they won't stay there and start fighting. All right, so there's a road here. I'm actually going to send my cav out this way and then up here to this crossing for now. And we're going to kind of sit tight with our infantry divisions. Pascal, there were major cavalry combat. There were several times that happened. I don't know why. I still have Discord open. There we go. Yeah, things like Yellow Tavern, Brandy Station. They just didn't happen nearly as often. All right, now I think I've got everything fixed here. Let's see if we can get some sense of where they are. They could be anywhere in this area here. And I've got just the 2 cavalry brigades to scout out. Father K, you're getting a headache after playing this game for 30 hours. There is a learning curve to it for sure. I feel pretty comfortable with it now, but at first it was a little frustrating when you're used to how other games work. Oh, I got another division of cavalry down here. That's because it's Grant. No. So let's move General Grant by himself up here. We've got these 2 cavalry brigades that are attached to him by themselves. They're attached directly to the headquarters. That was actually a common thing that would be done. If you look at the orders of battle for the different battles, there was usually a regiment, sometimes even less, maybe even just a company that would be attached to the headquarters as a headquarters guard. Miscellaneous, man, I did watch Attenshay's Witchfinder General video. It was interesting. Give you a great example of Sean Jones. Yes, I do prefer this game over Hearts of Iron 4, but they're both very good. Great example of cavalry making a big difference. Confederate cavalry probably saved Vicksburg for a good 6 months. And I'll talk about this on my Vlogging Through History channel because I'm going to Vicksburg in a couple weeks. I'm going to be doing some videos on the Vicksburg campaign. Grant was making a move on Vicksburg in late fall, early winter of 1862, and he had sent Sherman toward Vicksburg and did not adequately protect his supply line, and the Confederate cavalry got in and behind him, cut off his supply line by raiding that supply line, and completely wrecked the entire campaign trying to take Vicksburg. The family's doing great. Thank you for asking. My wife's at every few months. She and all her friends get together and do a scrapbooking weekend at her friend's house, and this is that weekend. So last night and then all day today, she is scrapbooking with her friends. I believe the other 3 are all in their rooms playing on their devices at the moment. Now, the good news is, so far, we haven't spotted the Confederates, and I'm hoping that they are moving slowly, because the longer they take, the better off we'll be, because we'll get all those massive reinforcements. The worst thing, I don't know why these guys are not moving. I'm just going to bring them up to where Grant is for now, so they'll be close for orders. While the wife's away, the Union will play. That's about right. Sounds like the kids are outside playing now. Yep. Neighborhood kids are playing in my yard. I could be that old annoying neighbor and say, get off my lawn, but we actually don't mind. They all play in each other's yards around here. We got a lot of kids in our neighborhood, which is nice. Why do I prefer this to Hearts of Iron? Because I prefer the Civil War to World War II. And there are a ton of World War II games, but there aren't that many really good grand strategy games for the Civil War. So things are pretty quiet right now. That's the way I like it. So I guess we'll just chat until we spot the enemy. I'm going to send this cav across to grab that objective point. These guys are still sitting there. What is the deal? It's like there's something wrong with them. I'm going to keep these guys right here. Because if the Confederates do come at me, they're going to come down probably this road, or down here. But I'll have plenty of warning if they come this way. How's my plan evolving to travel to Germany? Well, I can't make any plans right now because this darn COVID just won't go away. So until that happens, Mr. Kurt, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Until something happens with COVID where they clear up travel, it seems like maybe US-UK travel is going to get opened up again soon. I'm hoping it does. Hey, my boys from West Brom did pretty good. They beat Birmingham City in a friendly 4-0 today, so that was nice. Seems like their new coach might be a good thing for them. Jeff, I'm hoping to come to Germany as soon as everything clears up. My 8-year-old son and I have been working on our German. But I'm definitely assuming everything is all clear. Last week of April, first week of May next year, 2022. Planning to go to Normandy. And then planning to stay afterwards to... might only get to Aachen in Germany on that trip. But definitely future plans for German trips as well. Germany's right at the top of my bucket list as far as countries I want to visit. All right, still no sign of the rebels. They've got to be back far. This is actually working out perfectly for me. And normally if I was recording a video, you guys wouldn't see any of this because I just wouldn't start recording until we actually made contact with the enemy. But that's the way it goes on a stream. Let's see where we're at as far as the... you can see on the order of battle who we don't have yet. 35 hours still for the 17th Corps. And the Mighty Special Forces will finally get to see some action. We got the 9th Australian Division there. William Tecumseh Sherman in there. I may do a video on my other channel at some point in my Forgotten History series on General Sherman's bout with mental illness early in the war, because it was pretty severe. I was doing some reading on it yesterday, and it was a lot worse than I realized. Sherman, man, I mean, the man is very, very lucky that he was able to hang on to command. The morale situation, let's take a look at that. So my morale is incredibly high compared to his. And I think that's in part because we're fighting in Kentucky, which is a Union state, and I think that makes a difference. Definitely want to visit Poland as well. I'd like to see the Auschwitz fortress. I'd like to see Auschwitz. I mainly want to go to Aachen because of the connections with... I think that's where Charlemagne is interred. So that would be kind of awesome to see. the cathedral there. Space Wolf, that's awesome. Yeah, anytime I travel, and I announce this a lot, make sure you are, if you haven't already, subscribe to my Vlogging Through History channel, because that's where I post a lot of the stuff about my travels that are coming up. And like, for example, in a couple weeks, we're going to be doing a whole day touring the Vicksburg battlefield together with viewers. And so anytime I'm doing travel where I'm going to be making videos for my other channel, I try to announce chances to meet up with folks. So anytime I go somewhere, I'll definitely plan to do that. Why are we not moving? I'm having a hard time getting my cavalry to move. Ooh, the Christmas market's very cool. I haven't seen anything about supply trains for tactical battle yet. Quiet day. We could probably move on these guys and finish them even without the reinforcements. I just don't know why I can't get my cavalry to move. I'm going to go ahead and send Palmer up here, see if we can spot these guys, figure out where they are. I can't get any of my cavalry to move. Game Landmaster, I've heard that too. One of the most common things I've heard about visiting Auschwitz is that it's a place that you need to visit, but once you visit, you never want to go there again. And I can completely understand that. Yeah, I need to get back to Washington, D.C. I want to make some videos at Arlington National Cemetery. There are a lot of, you know, everybody visits like the really popular graves at Arlington, like the Kennedy gravesite and the Lee Mansion and Audie Murphy and people, John Pershing, people like that. But there are a lot of really interesting graves that people don't visit that are there. Dan Sickles, for example. Who else? Robert Todd Lincoln is in Arlington. You know, there's a lot of other like really well-known figures that people don't think about when they go to Arlington. End of the day. All right, cool. So now we can do some redeploying if we need to. And we also get that much closer. The 18th Corps has arrived. How close are we now for the 17th Corps? We are still 17 hours away on the 17th Corps. Gouverneur Warren with the 18th Corps. Warren historically commanded the 5th Corps in the Army of the Potomac late in the war. Was very unceremoniously relieved of command by Phil Sheridan a few days before Appomattox, and then spent quite a long time afterwards clearing his name, and eventually it was ruled that Sheridan was out of line in relieving him. Those Ohio generals, you know, Sherman, Grant, and Sheridan, all from Ohio. Kind of the big three after the war. Interesting, Ohio being kind of the only big state in the west of the United States at that time. Ohio was the 3rd largest state in terms of population during the Civil War. Pennsylvania and New York were larger. But Ohio being kind of in the Midwest after the war, you know, the 3 top generals after the war, Grant, Sherman, Sheridan, all from Ohio. Almost every president for the next 50 years after the Civil War is from Ohio. And we haven't had one since. What started my interest in the American Civil War? It was Ken Burns' documentary, which is so good. And even to this day, really holds up well. I'm actually going to be doing a video talking about one of my favorite clips from that documentary on the other channel, probably in the next couple of days. And still, I should have redeployed these guys. They're still down there. And we still haven't spotted the enemy. Though, interestingly, things have shifted further in his direction. That's because the morale has come down. His morale's come up. All right, let's speed things along here. Yeah, they definitely should have attacked me on day one. What's up, Irish Taco? Welcome back. All right, I hear something happening. Where was that? Oh, there they are. Governor Warren's about to run into the Confederate line. All right, let's get Robert McCook's line into position. Actually, he's probably okay. Looks like it's going to be Sherman. It's going to run into them first. So he was sitting right up in here. All right, so that means then that we can go ahead and start moving. We're going to move this division up here to secure that objective. Let's bring the guns up. Of course, I'm assuming he's not up here too. I guess we're going to find out. Yeah, Jeff, Virginia and Ohio both claim 8. But one of those men is shared. That's William Henry Harrison. He was born in Virginia, but served from Ohio. There's a lot of presidents that are claimed by multiple states. You know, Lincoln's claimed by Illinois and Kentucky. You know, you have Biden, born in Pennsylvania, but really most known for being from Delaware. Obama was born in Hawaii, but served from Illinois. Benjamin Harrison was born in Ohio, but served as a senator in Indiana, and he's buried there. Interesting thing about Ohio claims 8 presidents. 5 Ohio presidents are buried in Ohio, and 4 of those 5 died in office. Let's see how good you guys are. Who are the 4 presidents? There have been 8 presidents, I think, who have died in office, and half of them have been from Ohio. Who are the 4 presidents from Ohio who died in office? Go. Don't Google it. Just let's see how quick you can get it. I have read Company H. I'm related to Sam Watkins. He's a distant cousin of mine. My wife's maiden name's Watkins, but I have Watkins from Tennessee in my family tree. Sebastian watching the Battle of the Five Armies. Nice. You're from Akron? Very cool. Yeah, I think Harding being from Ohio really hurt us. Garfield's one of them. Yeah, he's buried up in Cleveland at Lakeview Cemetery. Yeah, you're just down the road from me in Akron. I'm about 35 minutes from Akron. We got to get these batteries moved up too. And then we're going to zoom in and see what's going on here. Yeah, William Henry Harrison, Garfield, Harding. The other one was assassinated. And he's buried in Canton. So we got the 87th Ohio Infantry here. We got the 92nd Ohio Gordons. Hungarian Impalers are right here. Let's get them up here. Taft is not buried in Ohio. And Taft did not die in office. Yeah, it's Harding, William Henry Harrison, McKinley, and Garfield. Yep. No, Jeff, Canton is where the NFL Hall of Fame is. And it's actually right across the street from McKinley's grave. I'm going to be there in a couple weeks. My son's got a soccer tournament at the NFL Hall of Fame. Yes, they do soccer tournaments at the NFL Football Hall of Fame. I got to get these other guns moved up. Alright, we're still waiting for all of our divisions to move, and we've still got another corps on the way. Hey, look, these cavalry brigades are finally moving. Now I'm going to move them again. So it's going to take a while for this to get in. Yeah, Major League Baseball is in Cooperstown. The NBA Hall of Fame is in Springfield, Massachusetts. Sean, believe it or not, do you know that the name soccer actually originated in the UK, not in America? I'm not sure why we do that, because it seems kind of silly to call American football since they use their hands. Yeah, Steve, the guy who, I don't think he still owns Aston Villa, but used to own Aston Villa, also owned the Cleveland Browns. Now he doesn't own either, I don't think. But yeah, isn't Manchester United owned by an American? Right now we're just engaging his skirmishers. I'll have plenty of time to get my battle line situated before we actually go into combat. And I'm going to keep the double line because I've got the numbers to do so. And that way I always have at least one brigade as a reserve. Yeah, the rebel line looks good, but I've got plenty of time to get mine organized. Let's get Sherman figured out here. We're going to start getting our guns up. Plenty of time before we actually launch any kind of an attack. We got to tell General Grant to move. We're moving this division up just to grab this objective right now. We got to get the 1st Prussian American Cavalry Brigade up here on our flank. The Glazers, that's who it is. Liverpool's owned by an American as well. Boy, how many Premier League teams are actually owned by people from the UK? Because I know a lot of them are owned by, like West Brom's owned. I mean, they're not in the Premier League anymore, but West Brom's owned by a guy from China, and everybody wishes he would sell that team. We're still waiting on guns to come up. I think we can speed things up along here. Part of the reason why we're having trouble getting our battle line situated is because he's sending the skirmishers out, which is causing us to have to engage instead of forming our lines. We got the 92nd Ohio Gordons here. We got the Louisville Legion here. They're driving the skirmishers back now. So let's try this again. Speaking of Ohio, the McCooks are from Northeast Ohio. Let's see what the numbers look like so far. Casualties pretty much even so far. Alright, let's see. There's McGinnis. We're gonna bring him up. Oh, we got a hill right here. This is actually a really good spot to throw a division. We're still waiting on the guns to come up. Let's go ahead and speed things along. Bloodiest battle of Civil War was Gettysburg. Good evening, Raven. How are things in the UK today? Jacob, I did see it. Yeah, it is funny. I will say he's got the accent down pretty good for the Witchfinder General. Yeah, Gettysburg, then Chickamauga, then I think Spotsylvania was third. Maybe the Wilderness fourth. And then Antietam fifth. So the 4 bloodiest battles of the Civil War were fought in kind of a 1-year stretch. So we got all this cavalry coming up here. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cavalry on the right flank just to kind of hold the line and protect the guns. And then we're going to attack on the left. My son, mostly striker, and also it depends. On his travel team right now, he starts at striker, but they often move him to left mid. On his club team, he typically plays either striker or right mid. Strategic impact of the Battle of Shiloh. I think the biggest part was the death of Albert Sidney Johnston, who was the highest ranking Confederate general killed during the war. But that battle eventually leads to the Siege of Corinth, which once Corinth is captured leads to the move on Vicksburg. Zach, no. Grant really didn't. And it's part of Grant's personality that I just don't think he was comfortable being critical of someone without also trying to understand why they did the things they did. Anytime he was critical of someone, he also went out of his way to speak highly of them in some other way. That's just kind of who Grant was. Steve, yeah, actually, that is an interesting thing. Just that's why I want to do a video on Sherman's mental health, because I always knew that he had some mental health issues early in the war. I didn't realize how severe they were. It was really, really bad. All right, so we're getting kind of bunched up in here. I may try to shift Sherman over a little bit, give ourselves a little more room. The nice thing is, because he's sitting tight, he's giving me plenty of room to get my troops exactly where I want them. We're still waiting on the guns. Let's go ahead and bring up Daniel Tyler's division, and we could probably sneak them in through the woods, like right up in here. EU4 is going to start next week. I agree, Grant was a magnificent human being. I've done Kaiserreich in the past on this channel. I don't think the Civil War could have been avoided. It was depression, but it was also I think it was probably bipolar is the diagnosis you would give today, or manic depressive, you could say, delusions, severe depression as well. And it was all reported in the newspaper, which made it much worse. Alright, he's starting to shift now that he's seeing what I'm doing. Dan, I was in Chickamauga a couple months ago. Why is Cairo pronounced Cairo and not Cairo? That's a great question. Because it was, I think, named after the one in Egypt. Because they kind of considered that area to be like Egypt. Because it floods and things like that. Zach, it's going. It's been going pretty slow, actually, this battle. We're just now getting into position to where we're fighting. I don't know what in the world is going on with Sherman's division. We're still a little bunched up over here. I'm going to shift. Hey, look, there's Lou Armistead. Yeah, we'll get back to Epic History TV's Napoleon stuff down the road. I'm planning on doing a weekend at Toccoa this fall sometime. You'll want to make sure that you, if you aren't already, follow me on my Vlogging Through History channel for all the details about that. I'll be going to Vicksburg here in a couple of weeks. Just ordered all the pieces to put together my own Union Private's uniform. And I'm going to be using that for some of my videos that I make down in Vicksburg. Oh, look at him shifting everything over that way to get away from my flanking attack. You know, we really haven't engaged him directly, and yet there have been a lot of casualties in this battle. About 3,000 combined. I think the max on this game, guns, is, I want to say 16? Speaking of guns, we still have batteries on their way up. They're moving really slowly because there wasn't any good road for moving the guns. Got these 20-pounder Parrots up a little close, I think. We're going to pull them back some. Let's dismount our cav and actually take away their evade orders. So they stand and fight. I am, but I'm not gonna. Obviously, I'm not gonna take the musket with me to Vicksburg. Just gonna be dressing up, but I did order. I've got the jacket, the pants. I'm on 5X right now, but once we actually engage, I'll slow it down. I've got the jacket, the pants, the hat, including the numbers for the 20th Ohio, which is my ancestor who was in the Vicksburg campaign. I haven't got the shoes yet, the brogans. I want to get those. I got the belt with the U.S. Belt buckle on it. I've got the cartridge box and the cap box on the way as well. Okay, maybe it is 25. Most of these ones all have 15 at the moment. 15, 16. Alright, McGinnis is just about into position. Tyler's coming up beyond him, and then we will start our advance from the flank. We're just going to hold tight with these guys here. Louisville Legion is just out of range. We need to move them up a hair. Same with the Buckeye Brawlers, who now have a perk. And we're actually going to give them sharpshooters because they're firing at long range, so that'll help with that. Heck, it's going well. What would I add that's not in it now? I don't know that I would add anything. I would just correct some things, but I know those are things they're working on. I still feel like the AI could be a little better. I think the changes, the updates they've made with the supply system are fantastic and really make a big difference in the game. I feel like the system with the commanders has still got some work to do. Almost all of my commanders are still just showing one star and everything. And they don't seem to be upgrading any of their things. So I think that still needs some work. Yeah, we have the same thing, Ryan, with some of our cities in Ohio. Ohio's got like 50 cities that are named after European city, which I know that's not unique in Ohio. But we have up near Cleveland a town called Mantua, which is spelled M-A-N-T-U-A, like Mantua, Italy. Only they pronounce it Mantua. Yeah, so the uniform I actually got on eBay and bought it all from different places. There are Civil War sutlers where you can order the whole thing for like $200, which is actually a really good deal. I got the hat too, the Kepi hat. But they're backed up on orders like 8 to 12 weeks, and I couldn't wait that long because I'm going to Vicksburg in 3 weeks, and I want to have it with me because my fourth great grandfather was in the 20th Ohio at Vicksburg. And there was a guy named Osborne Oldroyd who kept a diary during the Vicksburg campaign who was also in the 20th Ohio. And so I've got his diary, and I thought it would be cool to retrace the steps of my ancestors' unit as they went from like Grand Gulf to the Battle of Raymond to Jackson to Champion Hill, and in uniform read the diary and kind of experience what he was experiencing. So in addition to my videos that I'm going to do talking about the Vicksburg campaign and all the different battles, I'm also going to dress in uniform and do a whole series retracing the steps specifically of the 20th Ohio and my ancestor Sam Hughes. Alright, let's make our move. You can't do online 1v1. It doesn't have multiplayer. Would be awesome if it did. I don't know if George Thomas going Confederate would have made that much of a difference. And you could say the same thing. There were a lot of... it happened on both sides. There were a bunch of Confederate generals who were born in the North. Actually, the guy defending Vicksburg, John Pemberton, was born in Pennsylvania. Time to watch the AI dance in confusion. Yeah, this is still the thing he doesn't do real well, is when he's outnumbered and outflanked. The AI still has some issues. What do I think about the Battle of Atlanta? Well, that same ancestor of mine was in the Battle of Atlanta. Greatest victory of the Civil War was the Vicksburg campaign. It was also, I think, the most brilliant generalship during the war. From the time the gunboats ran the batteries at Vicksburg, up until the surrender of Vicksburg, I think is the most brilliant action of the war by any command. My favorite historical event outside the Civil War, the Wars of the Roses in England. Hancock got into some rough battles and had to be let go? I mean, he got wounded. Yeah, the AI is much better than it was, for sure. We're just going to continue to hold the line over here on the right side. While we move things in on this side. We've got the 42nd Regiment of Foot, the Black Watch. Got the South Wales Borderers here. Those are the boys that were at the Battle of Rourke's Drift, historically. There are some really cool videos online from that battlefield, by the way, that a guy did. I watched the other day. Gotta put in our long range here. Coloradan Lightfoot. I feel bad. When I recruited that unit, there were no Colorado men available, but now there actually are Colorado men available in the game. On the Confederate side, Jackson's Valley campaign, yeah, I would say that was probably the most brilliant moments of the war, which Jackson immediately followed up by some really terrible generalship in the 7 Days battles. What would I do if I was outnumbered and outflanked? I'd probably withdraw from the battlefield until I could change that and get an advantage. I did have ancestors who fought in the Wars of the Roses. Actually, one of my ancestors was one of the commanders in the Wars of the Roses. A guy named Clifford, who is actually in Shakespeare's plays. He killed the Earl of Rutland, who was the older brother of Edward IV and Richard III. His name was John Clifford. They called him the Butcher Clifford. And he was killed right on the eve of the Battle of Towton. Charge that lone gun to my right flank. I think it's gone. I'm just going to sit tight because we've got him where we want him. We've inflicted 2-to-1 casualties. He's lost 22% of his men. You can see here he's down to just 22,000. I have not read about Gustavus Adolphus. I'll have to check that out. We are going to get into some of that time period on the other channel. Let's see how the cavalry are doing as far as the infantry. Oh, that's another cav brigade back here. How are we doing on ammunition? Actually, we've got plenty of ammunition here because these guys aren't engaged at the moment. Same here, these guys aren't shooting at the moment. I'm going to hold Sherman tight. Sherman's lost 873 men, about 10%. McCook's lost 1,400 men. McGinnis has lost 276 men, but they just broke that brigade there. Patrick Claiborne's got a battalion here with 10 guns. Let's push forward. Looks like Dorsey Pender's retreating. Oh, and he's done. There we go. So that was a pretty easy fight. I've seen the Drakenfell video about the Brownwater Navy. I haven't watched that one yet. I need to. I need to do some reactions to his videos on the other channel. The 101st Ohio Infantry. Give me a second and I can tell you. All right, beautiful. That was a much-needed victory in the West, where we haven't had a lot of victories. So the 101st was in the Western Theater. They were at Perryville, Stones River, Chickamauga, Chattanooga. So it sounds like they were in the Army of the Cumberland. If they were at Chickamauga, Chattanooga, Lookout Mountain, Atlanta, Resaca, Kennesaw Mountain, Atlanta, Jonesboro, Franklin, and the Battle of Nashville. They saw some major action. Had to have been the Army of the Cumberland. Yeah, they were. Some of the most important battles of the war, actually. Ross, thank you. Appreciate that. What war strategy games would I recommend for someone new to the genre? Ooh, this is a really good one. It depends, Ross. What wars do you find the most interesting, or what time period? Because that would affect kind of what I would recommend. It depends on what you're interested in. Total War are good if you're new to the genre. They look really pretty, and they're pretty easy. Like, there's not a lot of learning curve for Total War. All right, so that was a good victory for us up in Kentucky. Let's go ahead and start moving the first corps. Oh, they can't move. Okay. Let's see where that puts us. Confederate national morale still 36. Modern to U.S. Civil War. So Hearts of Iron 4 is really good, but there is a bit of a learning curve to that one. The Army of the Etowah disintegrated. Excellent. All right, well, that helps. They were over here, so that pretty well clears things out around Petersburg. Yeah, Hearts of Iron 4 would be really good for that time period. I don't know. Some of you guys make your own suggestions for games you think that would be good for someone new to the genre. I'm trying to think of what would be a nice, easy game that's good to kind of get you into things that doesn't have a huge learning curve. Confederate morale has to be under 25 before the war ends. And I have things maxed out on difficulty, which is why his morale is staying so high, despite the fact that I win pretty much every battle. Army of the Shenandoah is up here with 9,000 men. Let's see, does McClellan have enough supply yet? Let's upgrade these supply depots. He should have enough supply now to start moving south. I'm going to move him over here, and then we're going to have to build supply depots again to keep him in supply. Siddharth, I'm kind of trying to talk through it the best I can as we go along. I don't know why the Army of the West has not dealt with him already. I think the Army of the Ohio might be cut off. We got a fight over Memphis going on right now. Let's get them moved up. Let's move the 18th. Let's go ahead and secure Nashville. We're not ready yet. We've got to wait for the readiness to build back up. Oh yeah, Patrick, a lot of people here watch Ad and Shay. Oh yeah, I was going to show the blockades. Thank you, Steve. So let me show you where we've got blockades going. I really need to take New Orleans. It's by far the largest city in the Confederacy. So this actually shows, where can we show the blockades? So the Gulf Blockading Squadron, we've only got 5 ships, but they've got 220 guns. There's their firepower number, which is actually a new thing that they've added. And you can actually see all the different ships that we have and what they're up to. And you can actually see right here, we're 28%. We're blocking 28% of what comes in. And you can actually see the accumulated losses in tax revenue through blockades and raids there. I don't think we have another blockading squadron over there. I think the rest are over here. We still hold Fort Sumter, by the way. Here's the Atlantic blockading squadron. They're blockading 93% of what's coming into the Wilmington port, which helps a lot. We're blockading 66% coming into Elizabeth. Farragut's squadron here and the Flying Flotilla. How are we doing? Actually, we could probably move some of these guys further south. I'm going to move Farragut down here to Charleston Harbor. All right, Army of the Ohio. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. Army of the Ohio has been seeing a lot of action lately, but we've got to secure Memphis. Chariot, last I checked, the visitor center is open in Vicksburg. Favorite battle to learn about in the Civil War? It's been Gettysburg throughout history, but Vicksburg increasingly right now. All right, so where are we? Danville. Okay. All right, this is going to be an interesting one for Hooker. Hooker, you know, a lot of people don't realize that Hooker did continue on in combat command throughout the war, even after he resigned from the Army of the Potomac, and actually commanded an army in the West under Sherman. And did pretty well. Yes, these games are based on real history, and you're changing things. That's right. Where is all my artillery in this army? Oh, you know what? I recruited artillery. I realized that before we started today, and I have a battery coming for each division. I've recruited a battery for every single division in this army. They just haven't arrived yet. But yeah, you're right. I've got 2 batteries. The Yellow Riders with 25 guns, and then the second battery here with 6 guns, and that's it. Yes, America would have lost the revolution without the support of France and Spain. Absolutely. Okay. So let's move. This is going to be interesting. We have to be on the attack. He's probably going to be sitting up in here. Mama! That's where Mama lives, huh? All right, so let's at least... We've got to get across the river. That's the main thing here. Let's at least get ourselves across the river. Hopefully he doesn't bottle us up there. Could you... no, I don't think that Gettysburg determined the outcome of the war if the Union would have lost. I think Vicksburg was much more important than people realize. All right, let's speed things up. Let's get some cav going out here. We can see what's going on elsewhere. I didn't give Tyler's division orders yet. Oh, there they are. We've already spotted them. What drove me to love history so much? It started with when they found the Titanic when I was 8 years old. And that's really kind of how I first got interested in history, because I started learning all about the Titanic. And then Ken Burns' Civil War documentary is what really started my love of the Civil War. Who are my favorite Confederates? I find Stonewall Jackson a fascinating figure. Patrick Cleburne I find interesting. John Bell Hood's really interesting to me. Yeah, so speaking of the American Battlefield Trust, 2 things about them. Number one is my birthday is coming up on Thursday, And so I set up on the other channel on Vlogging Through History a fundraiser, like as a birthday gift. If you want to do something for me for my birthday, I'm asking for folks to donate to the American Battlefield Trust. I believe very strongly in what they do, and I'm a financial supporter of them myself. And actually started the fundraiser yesterday, and last I checked this morning, we'd already raised $300 for the American Battlefield Trust. They not only dedicate themselves to educating people about the Revolution, War of 1812, the Civil War, but they also purchase battlefield lands to preserve them. And I'm actually in November 21st, going to be a part of a 7.5-mile walk around the Gettysburg battlefield. It's going to be like an all-day thing. And Gary Edelman, who, if you've seen their videos, he's their chief historian, is going to be leading us on that walk. So I'm excited to go and do that. And I'll bring the camera along and record everything for the channel. All right, so his guns are already firing on me. He's sitting up here around Mama. So what's the estimate of the numbers here? All right, so we're estimating 110 guns. That's a problem. The artillery situation is a problem for sure. I'm actually I think I'm gonna switch to single line formation. All right, let's grab these other objective points. Do I think George Washington is overrated? It depends on what you mean. I think he's very overrated as a tactician and a battlefield commander, but I think he's underrated in terms of his leadership ability. I say it often, he was not a good general, he was a great leader. And that was why he was successful. They are going to shell the crap out of me. I'm going to have to move fast once I get into position, because I can't be under his artillery fire for long. Alright, we got to start spreading out here. We're going to have to come up the hill. Alright, let's slow down. Let's put skirmishers out. Once we grab that objective, I'll send Cook over to get this one. Alright, Evergreen Brigade, let's get you a perk. We're going to need Iron Discipline from you. Did the Second Corps fight? I don't think so. We haven't fought in the East yet. Tactics Gaming. No, I'm not familiar with that. Alright, let's put out some skirmishers there. I'm going to shift Tyler right here. Alright, who do we got here? Boss's Rangers, Smoky Mountain Brigade, Danish Legion. Don Carlos Buell. Let's bring him over here. He's actually got guns that we'll keep behind. Worst presidents of the Native Americans? Oh, probably Andrew Jackson. Yeah. Alright. Bring him over here. Oh, hello. He's got more men up here. Didn't see that coming. So we're not engaging his entire force. Let's see what the estimate is on numbers now. 54,000. And if he's got at least a division up here, there's an opportunity here. So we've got to move. Let's get Robinson over here. So let's push. Push forward. Do I own any historical pieces that originated in the Civil War? I've got some mini balls from the Gettysburg battlefield. But no, not much. But that's something I'm hoping to change. I'm hoping to start collecting some memorabilia from that time period. There's some great stores down in Gettysburg that sell a lot of that stuff. There's one called the Horse Soldier. Not doing great so far, especially the issue with guns. I'm close to winning the Civil War on here, but I just can't seem to push his morale down any further. Alright, this is a problem right here. I just advanced and revealed my flank to those guns, but thankfully they're attacking here. I'm going to charge those guns. That may cost me, but I've got to do it. There's Buell going. I'm actually going to shift Buell over this way. Worst American president as a person, Woodrow Wilson. Nice. Looks like we not only broke that battery, we broke a brigade as well. The Turner Ashby, I'm related to him. He was killed early in the war, historically. Kyle's brigade surrendered. Oh, that was awesome. That was really unexpected and definitely turns things. Mort Kunstler's Civil War paintings are fantastic, absolutely. Gods and Generals, what is my favorite part? I think the 20th Maine at Fredericksburg is interesting. 10 most attractive First Ladies. Wow, I don't know if I have a top 10. Yeah, this is an 1861 start that I'm playing right now, Adam. Grab those guns. We could use some more guns. We've got at least 2 divisions up here. Who was wounded? John Pope was wounded. He's a battery commander on this game. Alright, what are things looking like right now? Alright, because of that brigade we captured, otherwise the numbers are pretty even in killed and wounded. Yeah, let's get our guns are, they're firing on these guys over here right now. I'm actually going to move them up here. What do we got over here? We got some cavalry and 2 batteries. Right now I'm going to count on the fact that I've got superior firepower, and we're going to start seeing some of these Confederate brigades break. Let's bring Nathaniel Lyon up here, Fire and Cables Brigade. Let's get the blitzers up here on Lord's flank. Yeah, the fact that my cavalry seems to be holding at least 2 of his divisions up there is really helping me. Because even though I'm outnumbered, I've got the numbers. Oh, Gordon just retreated. That's because we got, for some reason, Buell's division is marching right through the face of the enemy here. Let's pull them all back. Buell, just pull your division back. Quit marching past the enemy. Chatham broke. Cable's gonna break soon. Nathaniel Lyon is behind this fence and just pouring it into him. There, Loring broke. We got on his flank. Let's push Tyler forward now. And I'm going to send the blitzers up here to get Jackson's battery. We're just going to shoot it out right here for now. Because we've got superior firepower. Oh, Buell, pull your men back. Jeez. Now we're up to a minor victory. I need Tyler to push forward. We got to hit those guns. Alright, Buell, rally these guys. It's not letting me do anything with the commander. That's weird. There we go. We got another break. End of day. That's actually much needed. Gives me a chance to redeploy. I'll be curious to see what he does with these other units. We're going to have 2 divisions up here. Let me get a look at this ground. Yeah, that's perfect for that. Alright, Buell, let's fix things here. I'm going to pull Robinson back so he's out of range of what's happening right here. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Oh, it's going to bring morale back, so we're not going to have that cavalry brigade up here anymore. Yeah, the trees do provide some cover. A lot of different things provide cover. Tyler's division's lost almost, about 25% of their manpower. Get the Yellow Riders firing up nice and close with these 20-pound or 12-pound Napoleons. Venom has lost almost half his men, which means they're going to break pretty soon. Alright, let's push. Historical battle I find most challenging in this game. There are some really challenging ones. Confederates at Antietam would definitely be up there. Alright, we got to be careful here because he's got an opportunity. He might start moving these guys down. Who got wounded? Gresham, the Evergreen Brigade's commander. So these guys broke. These guys just lost their commander. That's a concern. We really need to push things here. Alright, you know what, Morel? Let's not stand there and get hammered by a brigade, or by a battery. Let's charge those guns, even if it costs me this command. We can at least take Garnett's battalion out. Ah, they did break. Darn it. Well, that didn't work out. But we did take out the guns. So that was worth it. That was a good trade-off. Trying to come up around him here. I've got to move Robinson on these guys because I don't want to keep getting fired on here. Is that John Bell Hood commanding a cavalry brigade? Protestant. Oh, yeah, look at that. He's pulling back and he's bringing down those other divisions now. What I need to do is, if I can destroy these guys, then what happens up here isn't going to matter so much. We've got to try and finish things elsewhere here. Alright, let's hit that battery real quick. Oh, these guys have mixed muskets, so they don't have much range. Let's move up so we can get canister fire on these guys. Man, things are not looking good right now. Even though we're inflicting significant casualties. There we go, Sweeney. Take those guns. Beautiful. Just knocked out another battery. Oh, where's Murray going? Alright, we gotta push these guys up now. We did swing things back in our direction a little bit. Oh boy. Union and CSA divisions varied. Confederate divisions tended to be bigger, but the Union had more of them. A Union division probably anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 men. Once the war really got going. I'm a little concerned about the Yellow Riders here. There's a lot of infantry coming their way. They just neutralized that battery, though. Ah, darn it. So again, we broke them, but in the process, one of ours broke. So there's a lot of that going around right now. Let's take a look here. Yeah, look, he's lost 12,000 men. Our numbers are almost identical. We've actually neutralized his guns. He's lost 80 guns now. Oh boy, we just lost another brigade. But the Yellow Riders just drove off a brigade of infantry. Nice job, boys. They're getting low on ammo, though. Now let's fire on this one. I'm going to shift Baker over that way. Oh, Cumming just broke, too. Ouch. You already asked me that. I'm Protestant. I have played Empire Total War. Okay, where are we at now? He's lost 25%. I've lost 19%. Whew, boy. I need some of these units to rally. All right, Huntington. What are we doing here? Let's see. I gotta try and get infantry help over there. If I had to join a branch of the service, infantry. I have played War of Rights. I don't know when we'll be playing Hearts of Iron 4 next. Oh, look at him. He's trying to get around my battery. Trying to outflank. Oh. That was a smart move on his part. He sent the skirmishers out now, which he's now pulling back because they were getting hammered. Oh boy. I don't know. I'm not feeling it with this battle. Even though we've inflicted massive casualties on him, I still feel like we're going to lose. And these guys have lost 53 men now. We got to be careful. We've lost a couple of guns too. All right, we just broke another brigade. That's good. All right. Everybody charge lane. Let's hit this guy. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, jeez. I just gave that order to Hooker and not Huntington. So I just told the entire army to charge lane. No. No, no. No. Oh, no. I just screwed everything up. I've tried AI a few times, and it always ends badly. All right, let's try to fix this. Let's see what happens if we break lane. I think the battle might be lost, but you know what? I'm not going to give up on it yet. My mistake actually may end up being a blessing. There, we broke lane. Yeah, we may have actually... This may work out okay. If I can hit these other two and drive them off before these divisions come down this way, he may have to withdraw from the battlefield. Let's look at the numbers. Yeah, see, he's lost 16,000 men now. That's 30% of his force. I'm down to just 4 guns, though. I'm probably going to have to pull out of here. I don't know. Yeah, that didn't hurt. Oh, he is retreating. It worked. Oh, beautiful. My mistake did end up working because I pulled everybody down and overwhelmed him on this side before he was able to... one of my brigades surrendered after his brigade commander was killed. But it worked out. I am not Baptist, no. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up there. There's still a long way to go in this campaign, I think. But I got to get something to eat for lunch, and then I'm going to probably get ready to stream on the other channel. Dang, that was a bloody battle. 30,000 casualties. That's almost Chickamauga level right there. But fighting Joe Hooker wins it. So that's 2 significant victories in the West for us. So his morale drops another 0.7. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And we will be back again in a couple of days with the next episode in this campaign. I'm going to try to stream more on this channel than I have been. I want to get back to doing that a little more. So, please stop asking me questions I've already answered. Okay, Battle of Memphis Ferry. So here's the situation now. Numbers almost identical. Men fielded. He's still at 36 on national morale, so we're still not dropping that by much. We're really going to have to be able to push south. And the problem is he's just got all these units everywhere. So we're just going to have to go move, try to take some of these major cities, and then kind of go from there. So we'll see you again real soon, guys. Thank you so much. We're going to be streaming on Vlogging Through History, I would say probably around 4 p.m. Eastern, so in about an hour and a half. We'll see you then.